here for a recap of a few games. We're going to talk mainly about the Leafs, Blackhawks, Golden Knights, Habs, and then a few other things, rumors, news, all of that. So if you're here on the replay, please subscribe, smash that like button, and comment your thoughts. We're live, so let's go through the live chat. We're going to be live for a while, so if you're on the replay, like I said, fast forward through it. I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff here. But yeah, let's give some shout outs to the people here. Hey, what's going on, Luke, Skinner, Winslow, Elias, what's going on? So honestly, we're going to start positive. I feel like we can go on to the Leafs and talk about it. We can talk about the Blackhawks, and I mean, we can be positive with the Blackhawks, but let's be positive with the Habs for a second, because for one thing, Ilya Kovalchuk, it's becoming an insane story, and I said it. And Elias, you're in the chat right now, and I'll give a shout out to Elias, but it was this thing with Kovalchuk, and I just thought, you know what? He's one of those players. He left the KHL. He hasn't really proven himself yet in the NHL. Like, once again, obviously he has proven himself over the time in the NHL. But I figured with a better team in Montreal, a more possession-driven team in Montreal, he was going to get more opportunities on the power play, especially with their injuries. He was going to get that time, and he is lighting it up for Montreal. He scored a big goal for a momentum boost, and he scored a big goal in the shootout. Montreal won 5-4 in the shootout. Obviously, the Vegas Golden Knights tied it up with, 7 seconds left, which was insane. Liam plays, what's going on? OV, Asia, what's going on? Ryan, Daniel Roberts, great to see all of you in here. Hopefully we get some more people in here. But we got 24 people, so I love it. Caitlin, what's going on? All right, so OV, yes. Tristan, yes. All right, guys. So this is also a Q&A. So if you have any questions for me, I want to give shout outs, but have a question for me and I'll definitely answer it. Yeah, Leafs starting in the playoff spot right now. Thank you. Shayana, what's going on? How about the Oilers win? Yeah, the Oilers beat the Coyotes and actually blew them out. I didn't watch too much of that game, but it kind of reminded me actually of the obviously not great goaltending, but also just, I mean, the Leafs seemed lost. The Leafs did seem lost, and I think, yes, Freddie Anderson played brutal, but the Leafs seemed lost. But I want to go through the Habs game first. So I'm gonna have the live chat up. We're gonna go through the goal summary. You guys ask me any questions you want. I haven't done a recap like this in a while, and I just felt like tonight was to do it. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of an update. I'll talk more about it as the stream goes on. Hopefully you guys all stick around. Basically, I had something big planned for the channel tonight, and for weather-related reasons, I had to cancel. So, I mean, it's not really me canceling. I was ready for it completely. But the weather's been, I don't know if you guys have been following, in Canada, it's been really trash. So I had to cancel, and I was really bummed out about it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do. Shanna, please don't spam. But yeah, let's talk about it. What's going on, Cardinal? All right. So the Habs. I think if you're looking at the Montreal Canadiens going into this game, they needed a win. Carey Price has been in trade rumors. There's been a lot of players that there's question marks. They obviously have the injuries, but are they going to trade a piece on the back end like Shea Weber? Are they going to trade Carey Price, their star goalie of the decade? Are they going to trade one of their forwards and a guy like maybe Thomas Tatar or Philip Deneau? And then there's kind of the value question marks on social media. What are these guys even worth? Because from last year, they're technically having down years. So I think that's the big question mark for a team like the Montreal Canadiens. I'm trying to pull up the goal scoring summary, but I think if you're looking at who had a good game for Montreal today, and based on what I saw, I mean, Kovalchuk, obviously, I think it goes down even to a guy like Jeff Petrie, who struggled at sometimes this season. Even in the overtime, which is pretty funny, he knocked the puck out of midair, and Fleury had to make actually a couple good saves there in overtime, even on a breakaway from Kovalchuk. He did the classic stack the pads and wave the glove. Obviously, you love to see that from a guy like Fleury. You know he can do something like that. Do you like soccer? Because hockey is just like... I wouldn't say that, but I like soccer. No one will take the Price contract, but Montreal and Shea Weber are really good. I mean, you never know. Yeah, that Price contract isn't great, but at the same time, Price, and he proved it again tonight. Yes, he allowed 4 goals, but he made some timely saves. He made some huge saves. I think he's still known to being a top 10 goalie in the league, and I think people know that well. And yeah, he's played in an insane way, but look what the Florida Panthers did to get a guy like Bobrovsky. Yes, Bobrovsky's younger, but still. All right, so let's go through it. Again, I didn't watch this whole Montreal game. I missed the first half, so these goals, I still have to actually see myself through the highlights. But let's see. All right. Hey guys, just entered the stream. How's it going? I also live in Newfoundland. The snow is insane. Yes, Ethan, it is. Trap Town, what's going on? Hey, 40 people in here. I love to see it. All right, so goal scorers from Montreal. Nick Cousins scored twice, which actually they talked about, which was kind of funny because I've been giving Nick Cousins a lot of shit, and he scored twice tonight. I saw one of the goals. Ilya Kovalchuk, like I said, big momentum boost, big goal for the Canadiens. I think that kind of drove them into the game. They had a lot of momentum in the second half, and yeah, the Golden Knights tied it, like I said. But you could even tell in overtime that Montreal was the better team. Montreal deserved this win. Yeah, they caught a few breaks. And then the better players for the Golden Knights scored. I mean, if you're looking down the list, Marchessault scored a goal, Pacioretty scored a goal, Stastny scored a goal, Smith scored a goal. We could have seen a whole bunch of goals from. Again, I think both goalies were pretty solid. Not like the save percentage was insane. Price with 31 saves, Fleury with 28 saves. Dale Weiss with an assist, which is always funny. What do you think of the Taves setup for that one Chicago goal? I'm trying to think. Taves setup. All right, Asia, no worries. Well, Taves scored twice. I think if you're looking at if I'm going to talk about, just shift over the Leafs for a second. Anderson is bad right now, like very bad. I don't think that's something that is a secret right now. I don't think it's a question mark. And I think, honestly, part of it is like right in front of everyone's face and they're just kind of ignoring it. Hutchinson just started getting in games. Anderson is mentally and physically tired, and you can tell in just the way he's sliding across the net and the way he's shaping up for shots. He is struggling, and he is not playing, a Freddie Anderson style. He's not playing that top 10, top 15 goalie that we know he is. Even in the wraparound goal from Jonathan Taves, a horrible coverage, horrible just ability from Marincin. To me, when he makes a play like that, it shows he's not an NHL defenseman. Taves went around him like it was nothing, and Marincin has a much longer reach and a much bigger frame than Taves. So there's no excuse that Taves gets that extra inch on you behind the net, like in a tight space. There's no excuse for that. But on the other perspective of the goal actually going in, Freddie Anderson slid across so slowly, and the wickets opened up so wide that it was easy for Taves to slide it in. Sandin is a bust. Sandin's not a bust. You got to look at the situation here. You're letting Ceci and Marincin be labeled your defensive defenseman. You have Sandin playing bigger minutes. Dermott playing bigger minutes. And I think this is the big thing as well. Yes, Freddie Anderson's struggling, but you're looking at Morgan Rally being out. You're looking at Jake Muzzin being out. Obviously, those are two big losses. I don't think that's something to ignore. And I think that's the big thing with the Montreal Canadiens. I think it can relate to another scenario. A lot of people looking at the Montreal Canadiens over the last month and a half, and they're like, oh, what's wrong with the scoring? What's wrong with this team? They're not generating a lot of opportunities. They have one of the worst power plays in the league. But then you're looking at injuries. Well, Joel Armia just got back. You have Brendan Gallagher, who's been struggling with concussion issues. Jonathan Drouin's been out. Even a guy like Pekka, who obviously has nothing to do with the power play, but that guy was a good depth guy at the start of the year. These guys were out. So the question marks around the offense and forward group, it shouldn't be that much of a question mark because there's reasons. They were missing three of their top players. The Leafs are ninth in the conference. Yeah, the Leafs are in the playoff spot right now, which is insane, in one perspective, but also you're looking at some other teams that have been playing well lately. Florida, Columbus, and now Montreal adds a win on the win column. I think this was a bad way to end, This was a bad way to enter into the All-Star break for the Leafs because this is their week break. Some teams still obviously play, or most teams still obviously play, but I think if you're looking at the Leafs, they're on their break, and they need this break, and they're going to have a couple games in between, so they're basically going into the All-Star break, and I think if you're looking at the standings, the Lightning have been on fire. The Boston Bruins, yes, have struggled, but they're still obviously in a very, I would say, safe spot. comparatively. I think if you're looking at the Florida Panthers, they're on the rise. And then a lot of people have this stigma that the Atlantic, I wouldn't say it's a stigma, it's kind of factual that the Atlantic Division is poor. But if you're looking at the top end of the Atlantic Division, I wouldn't say it's actually poor. Because if you're looking at some of the wildcard teams like the Philadelphia Flyers, Carolina Hurricanes, they're right there with the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Florida Panthers. So, yes, the Metro Division has on paper, has three better teams than the next two teams, which is just the Lightning and the Bruins. So they have the Capitals, they have the Islanders, they have the Penguins. Then after that, it's kind of all over the place. I mean, the Metro, yes, has more teams kind of in the hunt, but you have the Montreal Canadiens close. And I mean, again, like I said, you have the Florida Panthers and the Toronto Maple Leafs right there. What is the Capo best HCH line? Trevor says, who do you think will get left out of the East playoffs? There's currently 10 teams in the heat of it. Yeah, so I know you're a Columbus fan. See, the way the Blue Jackets have been playing in the second half, or I guess it's not it's technically the second half now, it is, but from the start of the season till now, in the second half of that, the way the Blue Jackets have been playing, they've been playing somewhat like a playoff team. I would say the way I've been watching, I would say honestly, the Islanders got to be careful because I think if you're looking at the... Wow, Skinner, thank you so much for the $2 donation. Atlantic is mediocre because the Sabres, not lying. I mean, it's not just because of the Sabres. You're looking at the Red Wings and Senators as well, but what was I saying? I wanted to respect the donation. I just forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, so if you're looking at the Islanders, I would be careful because you're looking at a team like the Flyers, or looking at a team like the Hurricanes, even the Penguins. I mean, the Penguins are pretty safe, but they are without Gensel. I think bringing Crosby back was a huge boost. I think the Hawks, again, they're not out of it. With the win tonight, they're at 52 points. They're ahead of a team like the Predators, and the Predators have been playing decent lately. What's going on, Lindsay? So yeah, I think that's just it. But overall, if I'm just going to transition, I'll probably stay live for another maybe 15-20 minutes. I think if you're looking at the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then we'll kind of talk about what I expect for the Montreal Canadiens for the rest of the year, it's not panic mode at all again. Like, they moved on to Keefe from Babcock. There was conversations about if they were going to make a big move for the defense, and I still think it's a possibility. You guys saw my video. If you didn't, I talked about a big defenseman they could acquire. Honestly, I think Anderson just needs rest. And whether that's trusting Hutchinson with games or if that's getting Georgiev or getting a different goaltender, I think the steps need to be taken. But I think this rest will be a big stepping stone or a big kind of moment for the season for the Leafs. And I don't think there's that much of a panic. I also just think if you're looking at one of Taves' goals when he's driving down the right side and a guy like Adam Brooks gets just washed by easily, I think that's a big point to look at that, you know what, they need some of their depth back, whether it's Ilya Mikheyev or Trevor Moore, like those type of guys that are overlooked and maybe not appreciated enough. They need those guys back because, again, there's no offense to a guy like Adam Brooks or Timashov, but Trevor Moore and Mikheyev are a big upgrade over those guys. Based on what I've seen this year, I would say. And no offense to Engvall either. I think Engvall was actually good tonight. Again, I think that line of Engvall with Kapanen and Kerfoot, I think that line was good tonight. And honestly, I wouldn't mind that being the third line. But then it just comes down to who's playing with Tavares and Nylander, if that's the line you want to go with. The defense core, you obviously have to wait for Riley and Muzzin, but do you want to just wait? You're getting Muzzin probably after the All-Star break, which is not too bad. Kane needs one more point for 1,000. Yeah, he does. Are there any trade rumors about the Blues that you know of? Yeah, there's a couple. I think the Blues were in on, I guess they're still in on Trevor Lewis. I talked about him in my recent video. I think a lot of teams are wanting a type of like Trevor Lewis or Kyle Clifford, like those type of players. I think they've seen impacts with the Edmonton Oilers and a guy like Cassian or the Vegas Golden Knights and a guy like Ryan Reeves. I think the guys that do have those physical abilities and that still can obviously play, I think those are valuable assets. So I think the Kings, now that another year they're not in the playoff conversation, I think those guys might become expendable and those teams might look to acquire them. And then I would just say, yeah, for the Montreal Canadiens, I think it's a tough situation. Again, for Canadiens fans, they just don't want to be on the fringe. They don't want to be in a situation where you're looking at being like where the Leafs are, 9th, 10th, or 11th in the conference and not making a playoff and then not getting a good draft spot. So I think it's either you commit, acquire, make the playoffs, which I don't even know if this is the best idea, or you trade assets now before like these inconsistent wins keep coming through. I was impressed with the win tonight based on what I saw. I was impressed with the fact that, the Golden Knights tied late, but they were still the better team in overtime, and they pulled through in the shootout to get the win. I think that perseverance says something about this team. And again, the injuries, it's only going to get better for the team once those players come back, especially Duran. So Oilers locking up Kassian for 4 years at 3.25 to 3. Yeah, I saw that. So again, I made it kind of, some of it was a hot take in my recent video, but Kassian would be a player that the Leafs would definitely benefit from. That's a player that the Leafs kind of need in their top 9. But I think if you're looking at the Edmonton Oilers, that might be a little bit of an overpayment. I would say, again, Kassian definitely can play a lot more than a guy like Reeves or Martin. Martin's making, 2.5 per. Reeves is making around 2 per. So Kassian has more of that ability, and I would say if it's in around 3, that's fair. But I think Oilers fans are just kind of timid and they're nervous because if you're looking at their cap situation as well, they've got big holes and they want to fill them. And obviously they have bad contracts right now. They have contracts that they're going to lose at the end of the year, whether it's Manning or Gagne. So those holes are going to be hopefully filled in the offseason. But obviously Oilers fans want something out of this year, out of this upcoming, or the rest of the season and upcoming playoffs. Yeah, Jerry Parsons. You could tell Carey Price really wanted that win. You could see the disappointment in his reaction when the Golden Knights scored that goal late. 100%. Yeah, Robin Leonard. He deserves to get paid. Where his money was at this year, I don't think that's horrible. Maybe, yeah, I would say in around $5 or $6 million, but he wants a long-term contract at that number. So I think that's where you're looking at. Trevor, because Shesterkin, I think is how you say it. He has a lot of potential, and they don't want to. I think Lundqvist has made it clear he wants to retire a Ranger. So again, maybe I'm wrong, but the bullshit of like trade rumors around him, I don't know if people are just kind of pulling that out of their ass. But if Lundqvist is saying he wants to retire, and the Rangers organization has said that they are going to respect that and they want him to retire a Ranger, how would that make? And it's not like a lot of teams need goaltending. And there's goaltenders out there in the market right now. So I can't see that happening. And then Shesterkin is there. They have potential and a lot of stock in him. I agree. I don't think they should trade Georgiev, to be honest. I'm just looking at their depth right now, and Lundqvist is probably going to want to play next year. And they think those could potentially be those next 2 goalies for next year. And I think they should keep Georgiev 100%, but I don't know. But yeah, I'll be live for another 5 minutes here. Do you guys any questions for me? I was hoping for more people in here. It's kind of disappointing, but that's all right. 20 people in here still all right. What's going on, Rachel? I don't know if I gave you a shout out yet. Let's see. Hey, Owen, we'll see. I think the Leafs, to be honest, I think the Leafs would rather have Kassian at 3 than they would Janssen. I think Kassian would provide more for them, to be honest, based on what they have right now. And so I would love your opinion in an Oilers perspective. Would you rather have Andreas Janssen over Kassian at the exact same price? I guess that's a question mark for the Oilers. Janssen would bring them more skill. It wouldn't, and like I said, Kerfoot brings a lot more flexibility, and that's what I talked about in my trade video for you guys that watched, because Kerfoot can play both the center and wing, and for the Edmonton Oilers, the Leafs are not dumb. They know that, right? The Edmonton Oilers' biggest need, arguably, is that 3C spot. So if you're looking at the Leafs' perspective, they're not just going to give Kerfoot away because he can play that 3C spot well. Ammo Trado's in here. Big dub of the Hawks. And I haven't talked too much about the positivities of the Hawks yet. I think if you're looking at the Hawks, Taves had a really good game. Not just on the score sheet, obviously. And that's what I talk about the Leafs. When you're having guys that are have been playing AHL. Taves made them look silly. Taves made Adam Brooks look silly. Taves made Marincin look silly. Patty Kane 1 point away from 1,000. It speaks for himself. He was actually not like extremely visible tonight, but it's Patrick Kane. I mean, he still puts up numbers and he still shows well for the most part. Kirby Dach, I thought, played pretty decent. I thought Corey Crawford, to be honest, didn't really like get too much action other than like on the power play, and he made some good saves, so I have to give credit to that. And like I said, shots weren't too high for either team, and somehow the Blackhawks put up 6. I mean, it's not somehow. Freddie Anderson obviously shit the bed. They put up 6 on him, and I don't think this should have been a high-scoring game just based on the scoring opportunities. I think it was just, to be honest, I think a couple goals for each team would have probably been expected based on the opportunities that were there. Even like the Kerfoot goal was just a deflection. It's like whatever. Miami Kane says, I just started watching hockey a few days ago, did a random generator, see my favorite team, and now I'm a Bruins fan. Hey, well, Miami Canes, I hope to see you more on the channel. I appreciate you being here, man. Who do you think will come out on top in the Rocket race? I don't know, man. It's been so inconsistent. I mean, just as of like a week ago, Duclair was number 1. I don't know. Let me look at the list. I mean, Matthews, Pasternak, I think are going to be there right at the end, to be honest. And I think Draisaitl, I forget what number he's at. But we'll check NHL scoring leader here. And as an Oilers fan, it depends if we could do the package you put in the video. The Larson and Cassian for Kerfoot and Janssen. You would like that, Kerfoot and Janssen? Hawks are on a roll. I love... Yeah, Kubalik, that's another player. I mean, you saw what he did on the breakaway. Again, that specific play, and I'll be honest, I wouldn't put too much stock in that, Zach, because you're talking about a rookie like Liljegren making a mistake like that, and then Marincin. Honestly, I don't really care what people say. Marincin is not an NHL defenseman and not close to it. I honestly don't know how people keep defending him. He was a -4 tonight, and he looks like he's got bricks on his feet, and he doesn't know how to cover. He looks lost in his defensive zone. The only thing this guy does well is an active stick, and he's just a bigger defenseman. He blocks shots. He can wave his stick around. He can poke the puck away. That's about it. He fans on every other shot. He is probably the shittiest defenseman out there defensively, other than Cody Ceci. And that says something, because those two guys were labeled as the defensive defensemen tonight. It's embarrassing. It is severely embarrassing that those two guys are on the defense core, 100%. And Cody Ceci could probably play, 10, 12 minutes a night on a bottom pair, but he's not playing that, and that's the problem. But yeah, Freddie Anderson was obviously the biggest problem tonight. I love Freddie, but that was bad tonight. It was bad. Yeah, the Tarasenko jersey. Yes. Nick Patosha, what's going on? All right, let's look at the scoring leaders. You didn't even watch the game. I was at work. Yeah, I mean, Kubalik has the speed. Unreal. He is, yeah. So, goals. Let's see it. Still what I saw from a couple days ago. Yeah, so Pasternak. Oh, yeah, and then Ovechkin and Matthews are tied now. And then Eichel. Yeah, so I guess for scoring leaders, I would probably... Yeah, Pasternak, I mean, maybe slow down a bit. Honestly, maybe this is biased. I would say Matthews and Ovechkin might be racing at the end. I think the top 3 will be those guys. I mean, it's a little bit of a drop-off to Eichel. So I think the top 3 is probably going to be Pasternak, Ovechkin, Matthews. But I would say maybe Matthews and Ovechkin at the end. I think that would be pretty fun. Yeah, Larson could be good. Maybe on a pair with Riley. Yeah, Oilers' big win against the Coyotes, of course. Pasta is running away with it? No, and he's only 2 goals up on Ovechkin and Matthews. My favorite team, Miami. I'm from Toronto, so Leafs. Hey, guys, any last questions? I said 5 minutes. I'm probably going to go a couple more minutes here. Again, hopefully we can maybe start setting a day for when I do recaps for a few games per, week. Would you guys like that? Let me know in the live chat right now. Because the only way I'm going to go ahead with that is that if there's, a lot of people committing to actually coming to it. Because if there's not, again, it's not bad. For just kind of I put out the announcement today. 25 people in here. It's not horrible. But let me know if you guys want. Sorry, John, it's absolutely depressing. See ya, man. What's depressing, man? The Sabres? Marincin is garbage, yeah. Kemper and Samsonov haven't played enough. Yeah, Matthews didn't do much tonight. But yeah, guys, let me know in the live chat right now. Would you guys come for these kind of things? Again, I feel like I'd continue to be more prepared. I'm just trying to figure out this channel. Like that's the biggest thing lately. I'm trying to figure out what works, what doesn't. It's always a learning process with a channel like this, especially hockey when the market is very sometimes niche and very kind of separated, scattered, and different from other sports. Like basketball is always like insane growth, and the size of basketball is insane over North America. Hey, it's all good, Alex. Yeah. Okay, Nick, I appreciate that. Yeah, so I'll start doing this more, but yeah, have your notification bell on. Any last questions? I'll answer 3 more questions. Matt Benning. I mean, Matt Benning's okay. The Leafs, like, there was reported interest last year that they were, like, interested in him, but I think the Oilers were trying to, like, get a guy like Connor Brown in return. I think the Leafs were just trying to give up, like, a mid-round pick. So I think he's okay. Right shot defenseman, right? I think he's... Most teams, he's probably the 6th or 7th guy, so he's okay. But there's a reason why, like, he hasn't found success. I mean, he's not unreal. He's not great. All right, Trevor, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, if I do, obviously, do these more often, at least once or twice a week, maybe. Again, I'm not too sure yet, but we'll see the response from all of you guys. I'll keep talking to you guys in Discord and Instagram, Twitter, stuff like that. And if you guys keep showing up, then I'll keep doing it. Tonight was okay. Yeah, iPod, it was rough. But yeah, I think what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think CC is maybe better than Marincin, just in terms of like physicality, but I don't know, man, they're both bad. The only difference I can say is Marincin's on a $700K contract and CC's on a 4.5. So I haven't heard of an update. Tarasenko, the last update I heard or saw, whatever it was that he was going to come back like somewhere in March, early March, maybe mid-March. He wasn't ruled out for the season, so they said it was possibly in March. I think we'll see. And they haven't. They would usually say something if it was after the All-Star break. So I would say, at the very least, it's probably not till middle of February or March for sure. Hey, thanks, Claire. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, clean shaven, nice haircut. That's what I'm saying. I had some big plans for something for the channel tonight, and because of the weather, I had to cancel. So had to reschedule, which was a bummer. Which was yeah, it really didn't give me the motivation to make videos today or anything. It was just unfortunate, honestly, I guess. I was really excited for this, and I don't want to spoil it yet, but I'm hoping to do it in a couple weeks now, which is sad. But, Andrew, thanks for coming in. Yeah, hopefully I'll see all you guys more. Last couple questions here. Stanley Cup prediction going to the All-Star break. Thoughts? TJ, I'm going to stay with the Lightning. Well, I said Predators, Lightning, and I had Predators as my Stanley Cup favorite. But I'm going to stick with that Lightning, and if I could throw out another Western team, I still think the Predators could make the playoffs, but if I talk about another Western team, probably would go with... I feel like Colorado's too easy, but I guess Colorado. Colorado beat St. Louis tonight. I'll go Colorado-Tampa final maybe, but I'm still going to go with it. Love the HTH mug in the back? Yeah, of course. Of course. All right, last question goes to... Last question. Then on the stream. Again, guys, not this crazy stream, but I was live for how long? Half an hour. So maybe I start doing them longer, like an hour. But tonight was half an hour. We didn't have an insane amount of viewers, but hopefully that, again, guys, if you want to come back, I hope to see you guys more. Connor Adams, I appreciate it. Hey, Sports Fury is unreal. Let's see. Spotlight, you said something? All right. Do you think the Oilers are better than the other years? Smith is improving, and McDavid and Dry finally getting help by other teammates. I think the Oilers are the best. Yeah, I think the Oilers are better than they were in the first year they made the playoffs. I think the only difference is if you're looking at like differences between, I mean, the players they lost like kind of in those fringe years. I think it would have been nice to obviously get a better return for Eberle or keep a guy like Strome, because if you're looking at the situation right now, they need another scorer or they need a third line center, and Strome could have been that. So I think obviously there was mistakes there, but I think in terms of contribution based on the players they have in the roster, I think they have the better team than the last few years for sure. But again, I still think they need to fill that 3C spot, and I think if they had a guy like Strome, that would make a big difference for me. But I still have a lot of question marks around that team, and I think they need to make a couple moves if they want to be confident going to the playoffs. So because I scrolled up, I'll see if anyone else squeezed in a question. What do you think? What do the Hawks turn it around? How many years? Oh, when did the Hawks turn it around? Hey, I mean, I don't think it's going to be too long. If the Hawks don't do well this year and they got a good draft choice, they have a lot of guys coming up. Actually, I should retract that. They have a couple guys coming up, and their roster's kind of turning a bit. I mean, you have 2 younger guys in your top 6 in Strome and Brinkat. So Kane's still in his prime, in my opinion. I think they could be a team that turns it around pretty fast. That's all I'll say. Go Bruins, we're going to win the cup. Hey, Connor Adams, I hope to see you more on the channel, buddy. Thanks for coming in. All right, big Hawks win. Yes, Windy City. All right, guys. Claire Thompson, big shout out. Hey, I'm sorry if you guys are just joining at the end here. Again, like I said, have those notifications on. I put it in the Discord as well. I notify everyone in the Discord. I hope to see you guys all soon. I'll have a video out tomorrow for something. I'm not too sure yet. But again, I was disappointed with tonight with the game, but also just my plans shifted for the channel. Kind of bummed out about it, but again, we'll move on, and I'm hoping to kind of bang out some good content coming up for this week. So thank you guys, and I'll see you all soon. If you guys, I just get a couple shout outs because they're all live still. The Sports Fury's live. I don't know if your boy Roach is live. Sir Cardinal's going live tonight. I'm not sure if he's live yet, but go hit up those channels. I'll probably be in the live chat somewhere in there sometimes. So, all right, guys, love ya. Tough Leafs loss. Big congrats to the Blackhawks. Big win for the Habs. Golden Knights, hey, they're 0-1 with DeBoer, still all right, and they looked decent. Erod, last shout-outs. Dylan Russell, Eddie, there you go. TJ. All right, see y'all soon. Hope to see you guys more in videos and streams. Comment. Please drop the like. It does mean a lot, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. All right, peace out.